And we're live. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Today is episode 7 of From the Epicenter. And I have a super, super special guest that I'm going to bring up in just a couple seconds here. Her name is Dyah Wulandari. She is the VP of Performance Marketing at Tiket.com. I'm going to leave it to her to introduce who Tiket is. But today's topic is rethinking travel marketing in a pandemic world. Now, I think by now everyone is pretty familiar that COVID has taken our entire universe that we know by storm. Everything from local businesses, stores, destinations, cities, everything has been shut down, was shut down, might be shut down again, which leaves the question, right? How does one continue to market during this market a travel product during this period? And we're told to social distance, we're told to be separated, we're told to stay at home, but we really want to travel, don't we? So I don't want to paint too bad of a picture about what's going on in the industry, because today we're actually going to really take a positive look on things. But I mean, some data that I think might be relevant to everybody. Just to add a little bit of context, 400,000 airline workers have been furloughed or laid off, according to Bloomberg. About a quarter of that is here in APAC, right? We've heard stories about airlines like Asiana flying empty A380 jets just so their pilots keep certified. And of course, maybe one of the most positive things, and it's a story with a silver lining, is Qantas retired its last 747 to the airplane graveyard in the Mojave Desert, but it made sure in its flight path to actually do a nice kangaroo. And I'll post that link later on in the comments. But without further ado, Dyah, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much, Renan. How are you?
Very, very good. It's great to see you again. How have you been keeping?
Great so far. Trying to keep up with the work from home situation, but all is well. Yeah.
All is well. Yes, yes. Well, you're let's we have a pretty diverse audience,
Mhm.
and so I would love if you can just give the people who are joining, who are not from Indonesia, who are not from APAC, tell us about Tiket. What does Tiket do? And just give us a brief overview of also what you do.
Yes. Thank you so much, Renan, for the opportunity. I think I really appreciate it, especially because this is also an opportunity for Ticket.com. It's a very small organization compared with all the businesses in the world, but I can very proud saying that Ticket.com is the fastest growth OTA in Indonesia. We have a very various products starting from the flights, accommodations. We also have ground transportation like train, car rental, and airport transfer. And we just extend our services just before COVID's happening with the fun activities like to do stuff, sauna, spa, concert ticket, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for me, myself, I'm responsible for the digital marketing for Ticket.com. So everything related with the paid performance marketing will be my responsibility so far. And you can imagine how it is right now with this COVID situation. But I think the silver lining, like you mentioned, is like it's probably like once in the lifetime, and I hope this is gonna be once in the lifetime experience that we will have these situations. But I believe, like we already mentioned, and probably we discussed a few times, that when there's a challenges comes an opportunity. So I hope with this situation is also gonna grow the industry even better. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I totally I sympathize. I think we're all in this together, and I think this has been a common theme for everybody to just to use this as an opportunity to see how we rise to the challenge, right? Um, and obviously, we know that the travel industry has been one of the hardest hit, and let this go on record that you're very brave to be coming on here today to talk about this, because I think it really takes courage to talk about an industry like this that has really gone through very hard times. But let's not be counterproductive and talk about the negative stuff. We're pretty familiar with that, right? But tell us what you guys at Tiket are doing right now. What are the areas that you're actually seeing some positive momentum, some innovation that you guys are doing, and how are you guys rising to this current challenge?
Yeah, I think I can split into a few sections of discussion about this one because it can go broad, but let's go a little bit kind of like thematic. So I think our focus becoming more clear, that our focus becoming our customer satisfactions. So our customers becoming the center of the attention in the organization. So for example, things that I think we've done quite good. I can say credit to the team as well, because we do a lot of things to help our consumer to get their refund back. At the beginning of COVID, people were getting confused with change regulation from the airline, from the government and stuff, some restrictions. Unfortunately, many of trip have to get canceled, and because of the economic situation, of course, our consumer need to get their money back. So if I can actually share a bit, when we're doing the consumer refund, it's not only the customer services who's doing that. The whole company is actually doing a lot of things. Some initiative that we actually can do from our end to help the team. So that's what we've done so far at the beginning of the COVID. Nowadays, because of the situation, we also see that the consumer behavior has been changed. So user becoming more kind of like selective in terms of their trip planning. So back then, probably if you're going to, like, for example, if I want to go to Bangkok, I can do it like 3 days decision, and then after 3 days, I can go immediately to Bangkok, right? Now, with a lot of restriction in the international travel, even for domestic area, user becoming more picky and more handy in terms of decisions, right? So we are giving them kind of like assurance that if they have to go, they have to travel in the safe manner. So we always keep like saying, stay safe, our consumer. So few things that we are developing 2 features right now. One is Ticket Clean. Is a very it's kind of like selection filters in our apps where users can choose from flight, hotel, and few of the other selections if they want to choose a safe or clean inventory from accommodation and stuff. So user have more selections and more kind of like brief information about that product before. And the second part is the Ticket Flexi. So with a lot of restriction, with a lot of changing, like we don't know what happened in the next few days. So if you have to go for a travel, we want to making sure that you have more flexibility. So there's a lot of more kind of like convenience fee, and then kind of like selection in terms of the hotel vouchers and also activity vouchers as well. So user can use that vouchers anytime that they need, without hassling with the refund and rescheduling process. So there are 2 things, and hopefully our next campaign, because our birthday is coming soon next month. So our idea was like to help users to kind of like still can go for a travel, because for me, I'm also launching for a travel, but in the closed area. So because Indonesia also have a lot of destinations, so we're making sure if the user have to travel, they don't have to travel far, they still can get the best deal around that area. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you're a performance marketer, and how do you actually communicate to the consumer this concept of ticket clean, right? How are you doing? The essence of what your specialty is, right? How are you doing this right now?
I believe the feature is something that the user need to try first. Whatever features. So the first thing that we have to explain, probably from our branding team, they already have like a massive campaign introducing about what is the Ticket Clean and what is the Ticket Flexi.
Mhm.
In my side, I will actually kind of like trying to educate users whenever they actually have interaction with our platforms. So whenever they do the searches, whenever they do kind of like booking, we will try to introduce that. Don't forget, whenever you are trying to select this product, making sure that you are aware this product is ticket clean product. So,
Mhm.
or probably once in a while, I will try to communicate with them through push notification, through emails, probably, and then through kind of like paid campaign about the flexibility of purchasing from flight, from hotel, and also from our to-do. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And so like I think we've heard this this terminology new normal or next normal in travel for quite some time. And obviously there's upside that we're going to be seeing from this. You know, I like, for example, in Thailand, they, you know, Songkran holiday is typically one of the big ones, and it happened in April, which was right in the middle of the peak of COVID here. So the government, they canceled the holiday and they actually pushed it to last weekend,
Yeah.
and you know that generated a significant amount of domestic tourism, right? I think the if the number I saw is around 8 billion baht, which is somewhere around 250 million US dollars in spending in the industry. Like, you know, for me, I see this as, you know, everyone's always looking to travel outside of the country, but is there an opportunity right now for domestic tourism, and what's Indonesia doing on that front?
Yeah, I think I can share a little bit the initiative from the government as well as the initiative from the company as well.
Mm-hmm.
So from the government standpoints, we also have a similar situation with Thailand, where instead of having Songkran, we had the Idul Fitri, kind of like Christmas for most of the country, but for us, it's very big festive season. So normally people take like 1 to 2 weeks holiday. Because of that COVID, we have to postpone and we have to actually stay at home. No one's actually commuting across the border and stuff. So the government tried to kind of push back the holidays towards to the end of the year. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm also looking forward for that holiday, and hopefully there's no more restriction and it's pretty much safe for us to travel. And aside of it, because Indonesia is an island country, so we have like almost 17,000 island in the country. So because of it, it's impossible for us not to travel through to flights. Uh, it, so it's impossible for us to not fly from one places to the other places because it's actually separated by air, by the sea, sorry. And then hence I think the government also provide kind of like subsidize the airlines with some kind of like monetary, just to making sure they are still able to kind of like operating and servicing those businesses across of the islands. From our standpoint, because for us, we are close connected with the users. For us is we are, I think the view of the idea is like trying to kind of like promoting a few of area located close to the center of community. For example, beaches near Jakarta or beaches near Surabaya, or probably kind of like local to local kind of like transportations. And we can see the trend of the user who's kind of like traveling for using ground transportation is also kind of like increasing. It's not that massive, but it's kind of like we see the trend over there, especially for those who have a family, because probably as a family, when you have a kids, the kids already been there for 3 months, they still need to actually go and see probably kind of scenery and kind of things. Yeah, so yeah.
And how are you guys leveraging partnerships during this time? Because I'm a firm believer in partnerships. I believe that, you know, this really creates an exponential effect. What are you guys doing in terms of partnerships in within, you know, Indonesia, and you know, maybe you could give us an example of that as well.
Yeah. So I guess the the communication has been built in terms of how we as a travel player also can help the environment. So the partnership is also related with our partners in the airline as well as the accommodation and also all those business owner of the car rental and everything. uh, because of that, I think we are having kind of like very soft discussion in terms on how the outstanding payment has been made and stuff, but it's actually more to the B2B side. But in terms of the government partnership, we also try to kind of like engage with the Ministry of Tourism about the few of things that we actually can do together, initiative and stuff. In fact, we are very active in terms of that activity. The company itself is very active in terms of that activity. And also, I think there are few of kind of like donation that we actually made for a few kind of like people get impacted from the industry as well. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I also read about this amazing partnership that you guys are doing with Holodog, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and that's kind of like, I guess, going to be maybe one of the mainstay of future travel is before you travel, everyone needs to make sure that they get checked, right? For COVID.
Yeah.
So you guys are partnering, you guys are doing some type of collaboration there as well?
Yep. So I think the story to that is the before I think back then a few months ago when people need to go, they have to actually get the rapid test letter and stuff. But because it's very early stage of the pandemic, so people get kind of like hustle to get that kind of like certification where they need to actually get the test, how long is the process and stuff. So we partner with the Holodog to kind of like reduce that kind of like hassle for our future users. But then we also think that, and the good news is because we are trying to kind of like expand our partnership with more hospitals. Because again, Indonesia is like 17,000 islands. So with the help of Holodog, it's really good to actually kind of like covering the major cities in Indonesia. But because we're thinking that our user is not only from Jakarta or big cities, so we're actually kind of expanding our relationship with the hospital where it has like broader range of reach. So people anywhere in Indonesia can actually kind of like purchasing that kind of like product from our end without they have to go to the hospital and queuing and stuff. They just need to come, get into the test, and then go back home.
Wow, that's great. So you mentioned earlier that you guys are approaching your 10th anniversary next year, and yeah, there's also talk about Tiket building a super app. Is this one of the kind of steps that you guys are taking towards becoming more encompassing? Is this still part of the plans?
Yeah. So I think when people think about super apps, people might gonna think like every services within one app, right? So the concept that the CEO mentioned is like it's gonna be like one app for all the lifestyle entertainment. So one of the biggest things still gonna be on travel. So we're gonna be like focusing more on travel. It's gonna be like super app on travel. So you will have, hopefully in the future, we'll have like every services that you need for your end-to-end travel. It's not even travel. Like when you're saying travel, it doesn't mean that you have to go to the certain places. But
right. Oops. Someone's having internet issues. I don't know if it's... Oh, there you are.
Probably on my end.
Yeah. Well, we're both in third world countries, so we can say it was you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. So I think that's really exciting, and just that what you're mentioning is that the experience doesn't have to be going somewhere, right? The travel experience can come to you, right? And probably virtual experience is going to be something that is going to be more common for us in the future, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Great.
For a better experience in the future.
Well, we always got to improve, and I think this is just another one of those. We can look at it as an opportunity, like you said in the beginning, to see how we rise above these type of challenges and find new models and new fits into what the current market allows us to do, right? So as we're coming close to the time, there's one of my favorite sections.
What is that?
It's a quick fire round. Because I think it's great that to wrap this up, that people actually know a little bit of things about you. So, are you ready for a little bit of a quick fire round?
Yeah, bring it on.
All right. So, yeah. Okay. Who is your favorite music artist when you were a student?
The Cure.
The Cure.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
I'm a big fan of Britpop back then, and also kind of like alternative indie music.
Very cool. And so, would you also be a fan of any type of alternative TV shows? Like, what did you watch on Netflix or some other streaming service?
Yes, Netflix definitely. Thank God Netflix was found before COVID was happening.
And what's the last show you watched?
I watched the street food. My favorite one.
Street food.
Yeah.
Wow.
They went to like one country to the other country just trying the street food. Last time that I watched is from Brazil.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. And so, since you like food, what is your favorite food?
Nasi goreng.
Nasi
it's
goreng.
A fried rice.
Do you know what my favorite food is?
What is that? A mee goreng?
Close. My favorite food is actually rendang.
Oh, nice.
But it's tied with another's favorite food. It's a sop buntut.
Oh my God! You are officially Indonesian now.
I love Indonesian food. It's one of my favorite, and those two are. My team always makes fun of me because when they're going to Jakarta, they always take pictures of sop buntut and say, "Oh, look what we're eating." Yeah.
Again, sop buntut.
So, besides sop buntut being the best thing about Indonesia, what is the best thing about Indonesia for you?
People are very positive. I mean, like, throughout this crisis, I can see like a lot of people can get depressed easily, but not Indonesian. Indonesian can, for some reason, find something funny, something kind of like entertaining, just trying to entertain themselves on their own way. So yeah, it helps for someone, for some reason.
Great. And Dyah, do you have a business leader or someone that you admire?
Not really the business leader though, but I think kind of like a figure. So I really admire Melinda Gates. Yeah. So I've been following her kind of story for a couple of years, and then got inspired on how she can stand on her belief, and then how she can help the people and stuff. And I think, to be fair, probably managing Bill Gates might be the hardest part, but she can actually nail it pretty well. So yeah.
Amazing. Dyah, this has been so fantastic to have you today. I know you're super busy. I know you have a very busy day, so I just want to thank you once again for coming on the Epicenter, and yeah, you've been amazing as always.
Thank you so much, Ronan. Thank you so much for the help as well, and also for the opportunity. Yeah. Have a good day.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Thanks.